Jan, aka Gigi.
This is Victoria.
And this is Mika.
And this is
A Word at the Table.
Hey guys, what's up? What's going on?
Okay, so we'll start with a bag of questions. Pick a number, 2, 4, or 8.
Me? Okay, 4.
4. Do you have a side hustle? This actually goes with our topic. We're talking about finance
that's so
today.
funny. Yeah. Yes and no, because I feel like isn't a side hustle something you make money off of?
You don't make money off of it?
I mean, well, I did once calligraphy. Like I did these cards for this lady who's having her 60th birthday, and she was like, "Oh, I really need cards or whatever." So I wrote them for her, and she did pay me. So
It's a skill. Make it a side hustle.
That's what I've been
like,
saying that since 2012.
I know. It's just a lot. I need
force
like a
you
space
to
write it. And I feel like, I got to come up with like a contract. I got to get like official. I can't just be telling people like, hey, I'll make you 60 cards and like.
Or you could do social media. Like.
Oh, just like make a calligraphy page.
Build your brand online. Yeah.
Don't let things stop you.
Okay.
See what's neat. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys have a side hustle?
I used to braid like 10 years ago. Like I used to do hair. I think I have like carpal tunnels. I can't do that anymore.
Oh, your hands.
Yeah, like it hurts. So I can't do hair anymore. And now I guess my little tiny side hustle is I do resumes, like career building, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Very small.
That's good. I never did anything besides just my regular job. But recently I started teaching math. I love math. I wanted to get a PhD in math, but I did not pursue that. But now I teach SAT math and I teach high school math. So it's nice. It's good. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's enjoyable.
Technically.
How old are the people?
My students right now, my current class is for kids that are going into high school, into the specialized high schools in the city.
Oh, okay.
And they have to take the specialized high school test. Mm-hmm. So they're prepping for that. And to me, I thought it was like, when I first saw the test, I'm like, people need tutoring for this? Because to me, it was like, it looks like it's like simple algebra. But I realized from starting to teach, like how far removed I am from reality, because I haven't been in school for, what year are we in? For 7 years. Because I graduated in 2011. It's like, so
Wow.
So I feel like it's reminded me, like, even if it looks simple to me now, it's because of the knowledge I've acquired, but these kids are I was them once, and I need to be sensitive to that. So, but it's been good. And I'm glad that someone sought me out to do that, because it's not, I was looking for one and someone was like, oh, someone told me you could do math. And they came to me.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Now we have 2 and 8. 8. Which one of your body parts do you really like the most?
Oh my God, I was thinking about this in the shower. Okay. Yeah, legitimately.
Wow. Yeah. Share.
This is going to sound so weird. But I love my wrist. I feel like they're so dainty and I don't know. I just really love my wrist.
I have really little ones.
Yeah,
I
my
do
bracelets
too.
fall off.
I know. Yeah,
it's hard for me to find bracelets actually that fit. This is a baby bracelet.
That's so
for
funny.
babies.
Literally. Yeah.
Yeah.
It barely fits. Because
Same
and
here.
the one thing about my wrist is no matter how much my weight fluctuates, I don't gain weight in my wrist.
Right, it's the one consistent.
Yeah,
I'm skinny in my wrist.
Yeah,
consistent body part.
You guys seen Ray?
No.
Ray
Charles? Oh,
yes. Remember when he was like,
oh my God.
Yeah. And I was like, well...
You're so right, because he would feel like your arm, like the lower part of your arm, just feel like if you looked good or not.
Yeah.
And like if you felt it like long enough, or he felt it like it was like sexy, then he can tell you were sexy.
Yeah.
It was weird, or
So-
you were hot. Like it was.
In that, I was like, Ray would think I'm beautiful because like I have like really nice.
You are
wrists.
beautiful.
Yeah, I like my calves. Like I love
Wow,
my
that's
calves.
weird.
No, I like calves too.
Because like I guess also too like with boots, like I never have an issue. And like I've seen my sister, she has like thick calves.
Girl.
Yeah, she has thick calves, and sometimes like she'll be struggling putting on boots like the ones you have to like zipper up.
Yeah.
And I'll just go zoop. Like that is just so simple and easy. Like I'm not saying, it's like horrible if you have thick calves, but like it's just a simple part of my body. Like I don't have to like worry if my boot isn't gonna come up because it will.
No, I like my calves too because they're like naturally muscular. Like I don't work
that's
out my
true.
calves,
That's
but they're
another
just
good
naturally
point.
muscular.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they look good in
that's-
heels too. I be walking, I'm like,
Loving these cats. I like my hands. They're my favorite part of my body. For a little while, I was obsessed with my hands, actually.
I should be going.
Yeah, no, literally. I used to admire my hands. Like, I used to just look at them and say, I should become a hand model. Like, look at my fingers. Like, they're so perfect.
Yeah, we never have black hand models.
Yeah, I looked
Yeah.
into how to become a hand model. I was going to pursue that, but then a job. I can't travel all the time, so I let that go. But I still love my hands, although I'm not obsessed with them the same way, but I like them.
Yeah, you have pretty hands. Like some people just
Thank
naturally
you.
have like nice, like my god sister, like her toes are so pretty.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
like beautiful. Like they look
I hate toes in
gorgeous.
general. But
Just,
I
like,
hate my
so
toes.
pretty.
I get them done, but
personally, I hate my toes, yes.
it's like my feet. It's not even my toes. It's like my whole foot. Like, like they're just.
I love my feet.
It looks very flat. And like they just sound. They look like they look noisy. And like I don't like my feet. No.
Those things. Oh my gosh.
Oh, I love my feet.
I feel like apologizing to my pedicurist every time. It's like, yeah, girl.
Sorry about that.
My pastor preached on feet today. That's really funny. Washing, Jesus washing.
Oh, okay.
I need to hear a sermon like that. 'cause
Girl.
No, it was very good.
That's
Very
so
good.
intimate.
And he had a demo where he had one of the musicians, like he was sitting and being Peter when Jesus was washing Peter's feet, and Peter rejected. And I was like, "You're actually like taking off his shoe." He kept the sock on, but
that's, like,
But the whole time, like the pastor was like, "I'm really uncomfortable doing this. Like this is
Yeah.
not pleasant for me."
Yeah. Yeah,
Because
so
it's like
so humbling.
it's more intimate than hand holding, and I feel like hand holding is they'd be like, hold your
He
neighbor's
said
hand.
that too.
I'd be like,
The thing is, your hands are out there, so like somebody could touch your hand. You shake people's hands all the
Yeah,
time, so it's
right.
like visible. But your feet are usually hidden.
Yeah.
Like it's maybe summer you'll put a sandal on or something, but
thong sandal.
yeah, right. But your feet, for the most part, are tucked away. Anyway, next question.
the last one. I already picked.
Oh, that's me, right? 2. In a relationship, are you more afraid of being abandoned or smothered?
Abandoned, easy.
Smothered.
I don't think I've ever been smothered. I think I'm the smotherer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I
you're
mean,
very.
well,
Oh my god, Gigi, you met me one time.
Even sometimes we're like shopping. Like,
Yeah.
like I'll just wander off and leave Vicky somewhere, and she's like, "Where'd you go?" And I'm
like,
like, "Oh my god, I'm an aisle over." Like,
Maybe if we're gonna like go in depth to it, maybe like I was like left as a child when in Disney, and it was really scary.
I was there.
oh, you were?
Yeah, I was left twice.
Oh my gosh.
Constantly, they kept leaving me. I would just get lost.
That
from
is
the
hilarious.
So I don't like to be abandoned. I don't like it at all.
I don't know if I'm afraid of being smothered, but I certainly, like, when you become too clingy, I'm like, you need to, like, fall back. Like, stop. Yeah, but I don't know if it's a fear.
I'm queen.
I mean, but you would rather be abandoned than smothered.
I don't know. I don't know if I would rather be abandoned, because it's like,
Both of them are like
yeah,
horrible.
like why would you want to be abandoned?
No, some people are okay with like not long distance relationships, but like like, I could see my bae once a week. What? Once
I
a
mean,
week?
yeah, I
need to see you every other
sometimes
day.
go weeks without seeing Neskin.
Weeks?
Yeah, and we both work in the city.
No, that's unacceptable.
Yeah.
Once a week is unacceptable for me.
And because we're on
Really?
different
I'm so serious.
schedules, but like,
We need to make time.
yeah, we talk. Like,
No, I need to see you.
yeah.
That wouldn't bother. Like once a week is like
No.
fine.
Once
with me.
a
I
I
need to
guess-
see you every other day.
And also too, I think it like depends on your relationship and like how long you've been together. Like if you've been with someone for a while, like you don't need to be like up under them. I don't know. I don't know. For me, like it's just like I don't need to know where you at all the time. Like if we've been together for a while, like I think that kind of fizzles a little bit. Like maybe
Yeah,
I'm
I feel
that
like
in the
that's one thing
beginning.
that I'll probably struggle with when I get married. Like I'm gonna see you all the time. Like you're gonna be here all the time.
Yeah.
In my bed every single night. Like, I don't
And
know.
I love to have my own bed. Like,
Yeah, like
just
it's
spread
great.
out.
It's great to cuddle, but sometimes I'm like, you know what? Let's just
you need to
I'm
spread
gonna sleep
out.
in the other room. Like
Exactly.
No, that I can understand, especially because like if it's time to get unready and I gotta wipe the makeup off, I gotta take the wig off. I don't care. You gotta be here for this.
Yeah.
Y'all need to
Right.
every night. You need to see this. You need to see it every night. Yeah, but like I'm like so used to like having my man always there. Like my parents, they do everything together or whatever, right? So like I'm constantly
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then like
that's
my
true.
first serious boyfriend, we went to college together all 4 years. We took classes together. Like we're in each other's faces.
Oh my gosh.
We were in the newspaper together. Like
Oh, God.
Yeah. So I was okay with
Nightmare.
that. Then my other serious boyfriend, we were together for 2 years. We worked together every day, all be each other's faces. All right. So I'm used to just once a week. What are you talking about right
Yeah.
now? Ooh, like are
Yeah.
you breaking up with me? Like what are you talking about? I'm offended. Like I'm used to
Yeah.
seeing you every single day, and I,
I mean,
want
if
to
it's
see you
if
every
it's been a
single day.
month, I'd be like, okay, we need to like check in.
Hey, you still there, buddy?
Still alive?
No, we talk like
Still
we'll
breathing.
talk all the time. Like, but I don't even talk to him every day because if
Really?
I'm sleepy, I'm going to sleep.
Right, real busy.
Yeah.
I feel you, girl.
I'll text you. I have no problem.
No, texting.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
we'll text, but for me, I don't consider text communication.
Oh, okay.
Like-
Okay. No, I can like I
You
can go a
text
day
me
without
today.
talking
Oh, we
to
didn't
you, yeah.
talk. We talk when we talk on the phone or we talk face to face. Like texting is not talking.
Okay.
To me,
So then, yeah,
But
but
I can go a
texting
day
is
without
constant.
talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, cool. Let's jump into the topic. That's it.
Is
right?
that scary?
What?
The fact that I have to see you like every day.
I think it's fine. That's just you.
My current boyfriend
And
doesn't
like you
complain.
said, it's like you're that's what you've like seen with your parents.
Yeah.
They do everything.
They
I
do
don't think I've ever
everything.
seen your dad without your mom.
Yeah, I don't think they know what to do without each other. Like,
And I mean, there's a beauty to that, but I guess it's just personal preference.
And then now I'm thinking about my parents. Like my mom goes out all the time. Like she she will go to take the streets like forever. And like I guess that's what I saw or what I'm used to. So like they don't do everything together, and I don't think that that's weird. But like I think to each their own. you know,
yeah,
to each
yeah,
their
it just depends. Like if you want to spend all your time with your boyfriend or girlfriend, it's fine.
Yeah.
If you want separate time too, it's fine too. Like
own. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever works
whatever
for you.
rocks your boat. Yeah.
My parents, just the last thing. My parents are together so often that if I call my mom and she doesn't pick up the phone, I'll just call my dad, and he's like, "Oh yeah, she's right next to me." Hold on. I'm just like, yeah, exactly. Why do you guys have 2 cell phones? You don't need 2 cell phones.
That's
You're
cute.
the same person.
That's really cute. That's how my grandparents were.
Aw.
Yeah.
That's cute.
Anyway, so the topic today, I think it's going to be brief, although it's an important thing.
I'm excited.
But I got this from my Sunday school. We're doing. We just wrapped up a segment that we did on financial fitness, and it's based on a book by Rick Warren, and he came up with this study guide. So today we're going to go over the chapter that's about investing, where best to invest. And this is not like what stocks to invest in.
Yeah, no.
It's totally biblical. So to start off, like how do you define investing? Like what's an investment to you? Like how do you look at that?
Things that you spend on, like whether it's your time or money or emotion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say investing is something that you put your time, your energy into.
Yeah.
Like everything.
Okay.
feel
Like
like-
something you like using,
Yeah.
obviously. Like, so whether you
Or, like,
use your
attached.
money or
Yeah.
your,
Or
your
dedicated.
time, but you get something out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to start off with the whole basis of investing as a Christian is to take investing your money, your time, whatever it is that you're investing, whatever you invest in heaven, you will enjoy forever. Because our destiny is heaven. And it's hard to keep, it's easy to be short-sighted and just think about earthly things, but thinking about kingdom things and thinking about how to use your time and your money to further the kingdom. That's the basis of it all. We can look at the verse 1 Timothy 6, verse 17 and 18. I'm going to read it. It says, "Tell those who are rich not to be proud and not to trust in their money, which will soon be gone, but their pride and trust should be in the living God, who always richly gives us all we need for our enjoyment. Tell them to use their money to do good. They should be rich in good works and should give happily to those in need, always being ready to share with others whatever God has given them." So you may read this and say, well, this means that being rich is bad. But that's not what it means. It means that you can be a wealthy person, you could be a rich person, you could earn a lot of money, but your money should never be what you live for. You should live for God. If God asks you to give money or your resources or whatever to a certain thing, like you should be ready to give that up.
Yeah.
And money is so fleeting and temporary. Like you could waste money so easily. So if that is what you rely upon as your worth, then that's a dangerous thing, because if your money is gone, then you could say, well, I'm no longer important.
Yeah.
And there's also too, the other thing is like there's always more of it. Like you're never
Yes.
like gonna be satisfied, because
Yes.
I have 1 million, I can have 2 million, I can have 3 million. Like it's never ending.
Yeah. So don't ground your worth in your money. One thing that Rick Warren, one of the points he made is, I invest in heaven every time I use my money or my time or my resources in God. And it's not saying that 24 hours of the day, like all you do is church things, but thinking that God should be infused in every area of your life. Like last week, I met this one woman. I went to this conference for work, and she reached out to me. And she said, like, "Oh, I heard that you're interested in pursuing this field for your career." This woman is a CEO of her own company. She's like, "I would love to sit down with you for an hour and just chat." Like, why are you reaching out to me? Like, I was like, wow, that's so generous of you to want to get to know me and to just be willing to help me. And when I met with her, this woman is such a beautiful person on the inside and out. Like, she gave me her business card. And then after giving me her professional business card that has her CEO title with her company name, she handed me her social card, which had a picture of her in Nepal. And then she handed me this other card that is her passion project. Yeah. So she is unapologetically herself in everything. Like she has a passion for people. Like she has her passion project is called The Cost of Loneliness. So she cares about people, reaching out to people, connecting people. And she said, as a woman, she's not a Black woman. She said, as a woman, no, she is an older white lady. She said, as a woman, I feel like it took me time to get to where I am. So I reach back out to the ones that are coming up so that I make sure that I help them come up. And I'm like, that's really beautiful. And in her work, like The Cost of Loneliness and all of that, like that project that she's doing, she infuses that into everything into her career. Like that's not like a hidden thing. Like I remember when we first started this podcast, for example, I'm like, well, I'm not gonna be telling people at work about this because this is like my personal life. It's like, why is it my personal life? Like, it's God, like there should be, like we should be like one version of ourselves, whether we're at work, at church, at whatever, at the club. Like there's one version of you. And
That's like you get kicked out the club.
Or kicked out of church.
there is a time to laugh, a time to cry and all of that. But I think like just presenting yourself authentically. But like, so if you use your money, your time, your resources for God, like that's something that will be like, you'll be sowing your seed in heaven and not on earthly things. So, we're going to go into the 5 investment funds. So there are 5 investment funds that Rick Warren came up with, all based on biblical verses. The first one is called God's Growth Fund. God's Growth Fund is when we invest our money by using money to grow our character. So we're all blessed with spiritual gifts. Sometimes we may think, oh, God says to serve others, so I can't spend this on myself because I need to help out other people. But the thing is, God gives you your spiritual gifts, and you are supposed to spend money or time investing in that to discover that so you can express that fully. The second one is God's Mutual Fund. And God's Mutual Fund is where you use your money to encourage fellowship with other Christians. So whether it is a study group or like, for instance, our podcast, like paying for SoundCloud or whatever. SoundCloud.
Or like our launch parties.
Or like, the launch party. That's like investing in God's Mutual Fund. Or like buying like a Christian book or something like that. Or paying for missions. And then there's the third fund that's called God's Service Fund, where that money that you invest is used to serve other people. So this is one question I have for you guys. Why should we use our money to help others? Like, what's the point of that?
I think it can be not necessarily that the person, needed that money, but like sometimes with monetary gifts, it can help support that person in different ways. Like knowing that they have that support system, it doesn't necessarily mean like they can use the money, but knowing that like you're willing to give it is also like a gift. Like it's like, I have that support and it's like, wow, thank you. Like not necessarily like I could have just gave you $1, but it's still like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Like it really helped me. It's not necessarily the money, but the act of giving. So
I think it's because like God blessed you with a way to bless others. So it's like he's giving you, because he could easily just bless that person and give that person the money. But he wants us to fellowship with each other. He wants us to show love to each other. You're supposed to love your neighbor as much, like as you love yourself and stuff like that. So he could easily just bless everybody and like have everybody just have their own blessings. But it's better to have, guys share,
show each other,
because like you are mirroring God's love for you with your brethren.
With your
perfect, that's right on point. Like, one of the things it says when we use our money to help others, it's a witness to unbelievers. Our faith is visible. So if I'm helping out someone who is not that you're showing off, oh, hey, I'm giving this person $10. Like,
Drake video.
Look at me give $10. Right, exactly, right.
Looking at the camera.
So it's not to show off, but like when you do that service for others, it's like, that's one thing that makes unbelievers see, oh yeah, there's a love, there's a unity, there's a community in those people that they're able to serve each other.
I didn't even think of a video.
Sorry. But they can see that this is something that's like beyond them.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's also a proof of your faith. The one of the verses that addresses God's generosity is or how we should give. This is from the Message version. I know people always talk bad about the Message version of the Bible, but
Oh, I never read it.
I've never read it either, but this is in the Message version. Ecclesiastes 11, verses 1 and 2. Be generous, invest in acts of charity. Charity yields high returns. Don't hoard your goods, spread them around. Be a blessing to others. This could be your last night. So the money that you have today, if you die today, it's not going to go with you. Like, you're not going to be using that while you're in heaven. Like, there's no ATM.
To the
Like,
VIP section.
yeah, you can't buy your way to, I don't know, some other part of heaven, like, by having more money. So
General admission.
yeah, exactly. So the fourth fund, so we said God's growth fund, God's mutual fund, God's service fund. There's also the fourth one that Rick Warren mentions is God's global fund. And that's where we use our money and invest, or time, and invest that to bring people to Jesus. So like, if you're supporting like a ministry or
I was just thinking like we're going to the beach for summer or whatever, and my dad's like, and I'm like, I'll pay for it.
Right.
Yeah. So like I want, cause like I want the kids to fellowship with each other. Like I'm planning activities, so like it's gonna come out of my pocket. You know?
Yeah, and that's investing in God's global fund. Like you're investing to bring those kids, and maybe they'll make an impact on the other people that will be at the beach, or on just building character within themselves and building that community with each other. And the fifth and last one is God's treasury fund. And that is the most important fund. That's like when we tithe, when we use our money to worship God. Tithing is not something that we should do out of obligation, but something that we do because it's a show of our faith. I personally, when I tithe, like, I don't tithe consistently like I should.
Same.
Like, if I forgot my checkbook this week, like I'm like, next week I come to church, I'll have the checkbook, I'll just tithe for that week.
Same.
I won't like back tithe. But the thing is, like, we're supposed to set aside that 10% that God gave us first before paying our bills, before feeding ourselves or our families, like, because God says, like, He will give you everything that you need, everything that your heart desires. Like, you don't need to worry about those things. So setting that 10% aside and giving it to God first, like that shows God and shows yourself really, like how like how much you rely on Him and what you rely on Him for.
It's a physical sacrifice.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. On Proverbs 3 verse 9 says, honor the Lord by giving Him the first part of all your income, and He will fill your barns and overflow your wine vats. And in Matthew 6:21, wherever your treasure is, there the desires of your heart will also be. So like if we don't set aside from our money, because it's such a thing that money gives you a sense of power. Like no matter what you say, like even if you say, money is not important to me, when you have money in your pocket, like that makes you feel some sense of power. Like you could buy the things that you want. Like you don't need to wait on anybody to give you some things. Like you get things yourself. Like
I don't know if I want to call it power, but I feel like
Security.
Yeah, and I feel like I have options. Like now I can do other things. Like
on the dollar.
Whatever.
Get the double.
Felt like could get that large fries.
A large, thank you.
Right. You a big spender now.
Nah, you getting a large.
You hop on the counter. Listen, everybody, not just on me.
Just let you know.
Yeah. I mean, God's so like when we put God first, like when we set aside that tithe first, like once that money comes into your pocket, you're like, I'm gonna take God's money out. That already, like you already set the standard of what is important to you. That's God. It's
Right.
like your taxes.
Before taxes, you're supposed to tithe before taxes.
Right,
So
yeah.
it's like if you get $1,200, but the bank
Lord.
account only gives you $980
Jesus.
or whatever, you're supposed to tithe on the $1,200.
You know,
you know.
that, I don't tithe.
I don't either. Girl.
I tithe on my on the money that I see. that comes
Yeah,
into my hand.
same.
We're able to survive.
Yeah,
You're supposed to tithe on
really a
that
lot.
on what you got,
Lord.
because if you tithe after, because I do the same thing. I tithe
Yeah.
on what I get on my bank account, but like if you tithe on what you get on your bank account, that means the government ate first.
So
Before
did
God.
the government tithe?
That's true.
I don't think the government.
The government is not your
That's
issue.
the other thing. It's like some people say, I'm tithing, I'm giving the pastor money.
You're
Like,
not.
you're
Doesn't
not.
matter what the government does with your money. Doesn't matter what the church
pastor does with your money.
doesn't-
Like, it doesn't
you
matter.
made the sacrifice to
Right.
God,
And God
Whatever,
sees
right?
that. And it's
The
like,
pastor could take your check and throw it in the trash. Like,
seriously. And some people they may look at it like, they may even do it as a sense of, oh, I'm gonna show people how much money I make. I'm gonna like write my checks with my name on it. Like whoever's counting this is gonna see like the high, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like
Wow.
you don't need to, like, if those things are involved into your giving, then you need to check yourself. Like, like that's not.
check yourself before you write that check, sister. All right?
Yes.
Make that check. Check yourself.
You gotta read a title.
Yes. Check yourself.
Make it as a quote.
Quotable. So I'm gonna ask this question to you guys. Looking at the 5 funds, I'm gonna repeat them again. God's growth fund, that's the one for character. God's mutual fund, that's the one that encourages fellowship. God's service fund, to serve others. God's global fund, that brings people to Jesus, and God's treasury, which is your tithing. Of all of those 5, which one do you find easiest to invest in and why? And which one do you find the most difficult to invest in and why?
Oh, the first one, the one where you're just
God's
like,
Your
growth
character.
fund
Yeah.
for your character. That's
you know,
the most
Yeah.
that's
difficult?
the easiest. No,
Oh.
that's the easiest because
Okay.
you're just like, you know, God
gonna
would
help
want me to
me.
have this.
Yeah.
This is for me.
But for your character building, like if you think about, I don't know, like education or
Oh, okay.
like buying, like spending time with, like even spend, like, because we say time is something that once you lose that, you don't get it back. Money you get back.
Yeah.
But like spending time to like grow your character in God, like
Yeah.
Also, that's actually kind of hard.
yeah.
That's like the hardest one.
That's still easier
I
for
think.
me. Yeah.
Yeah, because like think about how hard it is, like to change yourself. Like, you know, like it's
Yeah.
just so hard. Like little habits that we do. Like we do it without even, like, you know, you check your phone when we're doing the social media episodes.
Yeah.
Like we don't even know we're doing it. So it's like I think investing in changing yourself is hard.
It's still easier than the other ones.
Yeah,
Actually,
I agree with you on
Yeah.
that one. I mean, I think
what
it
about-
varies from person to person too.
Yeah, because the one with like there's one for service, right? Or
Yeah.
like I think that's like not that difficult for me, 'cause I guess because I'm a people person. So that wouldn't really be that much for me to invest in. But like I think I would say it's not that changing myself is harder, but I guess it's just like a process, like a longer process versus me like
Just writing a check.
Yeah, it's just being like, okay, here, and this is for, I don't know, help out with whatever. That's
Yeah.
like similar.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think the growth fund is the easiest, or it's one of the easy ones.
Yeah.
Serving is also one of the easy ones to me too.
Serving is which one is the ministry? Like when you give money to the ministry, that's the
That's-
serving, right?
That's the God's Global Fund.
Okay.
That's- Yeah.
That I feel like that one I enjoy most, but like that costs more money, I guess.
Yeah.
You know? Because they'd be like, we need $1,200 for the buses. I'd be like, oh.
Yeah. No, for me, the tithing is the most difficult because it's
Yeah.
I forgot about that one.
it's like
No, that's the most
setting
difficult.
aside the 10%. And although that should be first, sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. And I feel like because of the lack of consistency,
So I feel like when you think about it, 10% is really not a lot.
No,
at
it's
all.
not at all.
So it's like when you feel like because we all three of us feel the same way. So the fact that we feel that it's so difficult for us to tithe on which one is the net gross? Which the net is what?
You should know this. I don't do taxes.
Right? Oh gosh.
I think gross is
What you get, gross
yeah.
because it's your AGI, so it's your gross income.
Yes,
so
yes.
gross is like what you get, and the net is what you get deposited and stuff like that. Right?
yes,
Right.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
So the
Correct.
fact that it's hard for us to tithe on our gross income, I think that shows that either one, maybe we're not making enough or whatever, right? We should ask God, hey, give us a better job. Or two, maybe we want too much.
Yes.
You know, like it's like, but you know, them Ja Rule tickets. I want the peak.
right.
Ja Rule. No, because I'm going to a Ja Rule concert soon, so I'm like really excited. But like,
Are we in the 90s?
I'm gonna be all up in the 90s. I'm gonna come in with the box braids and the brown lip. Like I'm excited. But yeah, so like either we have a job that doesn't provide us enough and we're like sitting there pinching every penny, or most likely it's because we want too much and we're
Yes.
spending our money on stupid things as opposed to spending our money on God. Because like it's just 10%, sis. Like
Yeah.
you know.
I know for a fact, for me, it's like because I'm spending money. Like, because sometimes, I say most of the time, like if I'm like, oh, you want to do this? I'm like, sure. I don't
Yeah.
even think twice about it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh yeah.
And you like to have that, like,
Right.
you know.
I don't need to worry about it. Sure.
Oh,
Like no.
I think the Bible
check.
calls it lavaciousness.
Possibly. I don't know.
is that?
I could confirm or deny that.
Okay, so then like let's just drop that, cut that out, edit it.
I don't know. You could be right. Yeah. Okay, so the next question. What are some things you can remove from your budget in order to invest in these 5 funds?
Uber Eats.
Uber Eats.
Uber Eats was sent to me by Satan.
I'm not that like a big spender like that. I'm not. I'm trying to think of something that I'm just like frivolous with.
It's food for me, easy.
Maybe my coffee. I love coffee. I can like bathe in coffee. It's amazing. So maybe I can cut back on that. And I guess the caffeine too probably isn't good for me. But I guess that I can budget out. But I can't think of anything that's like that I'm like overspending on. Like I shop too much. Like
That's good. I can think of a lot.
Yeah,
that I
same.
can stop. I think for me, eating out,
Yeah.
stop that. Like I don't do Uber Eats, but it's probably close to the problem that I have
Yeah.
too. Like, because I eat out for lunch almost every single day, and it costs quite a bit in the city to eat out lunch out
yeah.
every single day.
City's so expensive.
And sometimes I also eat dinner out right after I ate lunch out. So I
That's
think,
an easy $20, $25 a day.
At least.
yeah.
20 at
Sometimes I feel like it's like $30 a day for like consecutively for 5 days, and then there's the weekend where you actually go out, and it's
The
like,
weekend is the hardest.
yeah, and it's like, oh, you could be saving and cutting down those things. And I'm working on it.
Yeah, but sometimes you're kind of pressured into that too. Like if it's just like a social thing and everyone's like, let's go out to eat. You're just like, all right.
Yeah,
But
that's different though.
sometimes.
Yeah, that's different.
You know, and the thing is, like, for me at work, I feel like I'm that person. Like, guys, let's get lunch.
You're the one.
Come on.
oh God,
you
because-
bought lunch tomorrow. Like, eat it tomorrow. Like, go eat it
Yeah.
for dinner. Like, let's go. Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
it's bad. So I'm going to try, obviously not this week, because I'm here today on a Sunday. I'm not going to be cooking for this week, but I'm going to try to cook my food
Yeah.
for lunch.
Yeah.
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 It's easier to do that during the work week though, because it's like,
Yeah.
you know, it's not exciting. You're not, you know, like going to Applebee's during the lunch hour or something. But like,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess we'll close off unless you guys have additional thoughts. Okay. So, in closing, like take a look at your budget and see if there are some ways you can adjust to include investing in God's global fund, how you can help bring people to Jesus, God's treasury fund to worship God. That's a requirement. We have to give that 10% to tithe. That's not negotiable. God's service fund, how can you invest in that to serve other people? and God's mutual fund? How can you encourage fellowship? And also remember to invest in yourself and to grow in your character. Like, discover the gifts that God called you to do. Like, ask, and if you don't know, like, just ask God. And it's not a simple ask God and he'll answer, but you ask and also take action in like seeking that purpose. Like, you know, take part in different activities and, you know, like do an internal check and say, is this what God wants me to do? Like, is this the path? Is this a natural gift? Like, or do you have a gift to teach? Am I going to be a teacher? Do I have a gift to, I don't know, help people? Like, how can I use that in my, to like incorporate that in every single part of my life? Because our life is supposed to be, every single area of our lives is supposed to reflect God and show God, and we're supposed to be worshiping God in every area. So try to think of ways to grow that into your walk with God, your daily life. How can you invest God or bring God into your workplace, bring God into your relationships, into your friendships, into your personal life? And one way to do that is to start with your money. All right, and that's all I have.
Okay, this is
A Word at the Table. Thank you for joining us.
Next time.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll absolutely try to have you like make life.
Whoa, what happened?